Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson face off against each other, and Shakur says that he might be a little bit interested in a fight between him and his stablemate Keyshawn Davis. We've heard time and time again that these guys won't fight each other. They've known each other for so long. They're like brothers. But Shakur Stevenson recently said on an interview, shout out the Porter Way podcast, that, you know, facing off with him and seeing how the face-off looked on social media made Shakur kind of think, maybe I might entertain it a little bit. It looked, you know, it like hyped him up seeing him and Keyshawn face off because they know it would be a good fight. They've sparred numerous times, and I think it'd be a great matchup because they're the top at, you know, the 135 division alongside Tank Davis. They're both with, they both have been with Top Rank. They both train together. So it's like, it is like a match made in heaven, but ultimately these guys are so close that it's kind of difficult to get that motivation to want to fight them unless they had some kind of falling out, which I don't wish, you know, on anybody, you know, but being a reporter, you can't help but think, you know, if the money's there, if it makes sense at 135 or 140, that these guys would potentially fight each other because it's just such a good fight. For those people who have been watching Keyshawn Davis for a while now, he's, you know, slowly turned into a superstar. You know, he was a prospect starting out. People continued to watch him. They called him the next Terrence Crawford. He's passed every test, and, you know, up until this point, you know, he hasn't really disappointed at all. So him and Shakur Stevenson is a great fight. I really like Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson. They're great personalities. I don't know if we'll ever get it because, you know, like I said before, these guys treat each other like brothers. But I always say, you know, if it makes money, it makes sense. And these guys are slowly, you know, getting into that area where they're becoming superstars. So once they get there, you know, and Shakur's already a star. I just mean, you know, people are still very critical of his performances. People still call Shakur Stevenson boring, but once he gets to that point where like he's really beating the top guys and nobody, you know, can say anything about him, then it's gonna, you know, make him wanna fight the best out there. And who's the best out there besides, you know, Gervonta Tank Davis? I think Keyshawn is there as well when we're talking about 135 pounders. So I wouldn't mind seeing Keyshawn and Shakur go at it, but obviously I know that, you know, friendship and brotherhood comes before all that money and stuff because they're going to make money regardless, and I understand that, but I think it'd just be a different level of money, you know, a few years down the line, maybe 1 or 2 years from now. But I just think it's so, like, stylistically such an interesting fight. I've heard such great things about, you know, their sparring, how it's always tactical, how it's always a chess match. So just hearing that alone, I would really like to see Keyshawn and Shakur share the ring in a professional fight where there's a lot on the line and the arena's sold out and the bright lights are on, you know, and it means something because we know that, you know, despite their friendship and, you know, everything that they've bonded through, you know, and gone through within their, you know, relationship as friends, I feel like once they get in the ring, those guys are so talented and so competitive that they're not going to want to, you know, let their foot off the gas pedal. So I really want to see it. You know, I really think that's a good fight because they're both confident, they're both cocky, they talk their talk, and they back it up in the ring. Like, these guys are really talented, they're really great fighters. But ultimately, you know, we got Keyshawn Davis fighting Baranchyk, and that'll be an interesting fight. I got to go with Keyshawn on that, you know, Valentine's Day, February 14th. At Madison Square Garden. You know, that's a great fight. That's going to be a coming out party for Keyshawn Davis once again. He's going to once again be able to showcase his abilities and skills for Top Rank, and I think he's slowly becoming the face of Top Rank boxing, in my opinion. He's got to be, you know, the most exciting fighter alongside, I guess, Teofimo Lopez, but Keyshawn has had, you know, great performances and stellar performances where he showed he's dynamic, that he can do it all. He can, you know, do... you know, he can show you his power. He can do other stuff on the defensive side that's talented. He can telegraph your shots and make it known and visible that he's 2 to 3 steps ahead of you, which is really, you know, impressive and interesting in my opinion. So I feel like people got to start, you know, talking about that fight a little bit more. Maybe if, you know, people continue to ask about it, they're gonna, you know, make it happen. So hopefully we can see Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis go at it. But let me know in the comments if that's a fight that interests you guys. Maybe Keyshawn, you know, once he gets a world title at 35, you know, against Baranchyk, then maybe it becomes more of a legitimate, you know, thought, because it's just the best fighting the best. It's not like they're random fighters. One's a champ, you know, one's not. You know, you got 2 guys that are champs at 135. Put the friendship aside and maybe fight, you know, and if you guys are really competitive, why not make it happen? But I understand it still. I still understand the friendship, but, you know, who can't, you know, help but think about the possibility of it happening. But let me know in the comments who you guys would have in that fight. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next Nabs Boxing video. Peace.